Hi everyone, Nonnie here. I just wanted to let you know that I finished climbing over Blood Mountain and I decided that I was going to take a couple of zeros. Normally that would not be what people do after only hiking for 3 days, but I had a little incident on Blood Mountain and a couple of days is required to recuperate from that incident. Coming over Blood Mountain, it's just, it's a great big granite rock, and I've been over that mountain 3 or 4 times, and I was thoughtful in my foot placements and was going slow. I was thoughtful, I was paying attention, I was focused, and those trekking poles just slid right out from under me because they didn't have any way to purchase into any kind of root system or dirt or anything like that, and I went face first. So if this was the mountain, then here was my head and here was my rear end and my legs, and it was interesting because I couldn't figure out how to throw myself over because the weight of that backpack had me pinned down, and with the foam mattress that is attached to the back of my pad, it's not like you can roll over really easily because you've got that big block, on the back of you. I finally got myself turned over and sat there for a few minutes and thought, what just happened here? Because I was being so careful. I hit my knees pretty bad, both of them, and they were bloody and they're purple, but it's okay. I mean, these things happen, and I was talking to a previous thru hiker and some individuals that have hiked that mountain numerous times and said it happens all the time. Even when people are careful, it just happens. And I hate that someone else was hurt and fell. It did make me feel better though. And so I have a nice little bruise right here from where the trekking pole hit me as I was going down, and my knees. And they were so swollen almost immediately, and I still had 2.5 miles to hike down. Coming down was a little trying, but it was okay. And I got here, I took a hot shower, I put on some non-smelly clothes, and it was okay. So I just wanted to tell you that because 2 things. I want you to be careful when you're coming down Blood Mountain, because as careful as you think you're being, those trekking poles have a mind of their own, and they might decide that you're going to go on a trip you weren't expecting to go on. And the other thing is, just make sure that you're aware of how long it's going to take you to get over Blood Mountain and come back down. Coming back down is very difficult, and especially if you're doing it at night, you really have to pay attention to those markings that are on the boulders, and if it's wet, just be careful. I'd like to talk to you about my gear. My backpack is too heavy, people. It's too heavy. It's 34 pounds. No bueno. We're down to 32, but I am still going over this pack, going over it and going over it. I made a donation to the hiker box, and somebody is going to benefit from the things that I put in there. In fact, when I got here, I saw a man sitting on the front porch, and I thought, gosh, that guy looks familiar. And I said, you're on YouTube. I've seen you. And he said, well, I've seen you. You're Nonnie. And I said, well, aren't you? He said, I'm Sloth. And I said, oh, okay. So he ended up taking some of the things that I had that were useful to him, and we had a great time talking to each other. He is from Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and he is a delightful man. He stayed here for a night as well. He said he ran all the hot water out before he got out of that shower because he was so cold when he got here. I will continue to work on reducing that weight, and like more experienced hikers have said, don't worry. Once you go along, you're going to find out what you need and what you really don't need, and that is what I am learning. And there were a couple things that I thought were not essential but were important, and they're just not important enough for me to carry them, so they're gone. I wanted to talk to you about Fresh Ground. He was the most wonderful human being, but I also did not mention to you that I met Max Forrester, and he is a well-known travel angel and hiker, and that man was so kind to me, and you're not going to see any footage of that because I was far too emotional afterwards to comfortably post that. I did not feel like my audience would want to see that, and so I was just extremely touched because I am not used to receiving the generosity of strangers in the manner with which he extended his friendship and helping me, and it reduced me to a blubbering mess. So maybe you can just accept that I said it that way because I don't think you want to see that video. Needless to say, Max Forrester, you are awesome, and I appreciate you, and I can't tell you how much you meant to me. Thank you. Along the way, I met a couple of hikers. One's name is Suds, and her husband is Subman, and they are two previous thru-hikers, but every year on February 1st, he starts the trail again. They live nearby, and he starts from Springer. I don't know if it's his goal to complete the AT each year or if he's just trying to get as far as he can. He has plantar fasciitis, and so he suffers from that, which is probably pretty painful. I haven't experienced that, but my husband has, and I know he had a really tough time with it. Anyway, they were delightful, and Suds brought me hand warmers, for which I am very grateful if you've already seen one of my videos about those hand warmers and what I use them for. People ask me if I would show them how to filter water with the system that I use, and I told them that I would do that on another video. Whenever I'm on the trail, I will try and set up my tripod and take that on a day that's not too windy or too wet. I don't know how many days that will be because it is supposed to be pretty rainy the next few days. But yes, I will do that. I would be happy to. And I feel kind of squirmy saying this, but I was also encouraged to share that I have a Cup of Coffee account, and that a lot of hikers have these. I feel very uncomfortable mentioning this, but I was asked to do so. So I am sharing that I do have a Cup of Coffee account, and I have had a donation already from Kristen. So Kristen, thank you so much for going out of your way to do that. It meant the world to me, and every little bit helps because this is an expensive journey, and so it's just going to help along the way. Thank you very kindly. And last, I want to thank all of you for the comments that you have responded to the videos that have already been posted. I have been absolutely overwhelmed and just taken aback at the positivity and the well wishes and the encouragement and the senses of humor and the suggestions and the constructive criticism. It has just been the bee's knees, and I appreciate y'all for doing it. Thank you so much. So I'm going to sign off for now. This is a short little video. I just wanted to do a check-in with you and let you know how I was, where I am, what I'm doing, and I'll be back on the trail in another day or two, and I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. And I realize I haven't said this on my videos, and I need to start remembering to do this. I want to say take good care, and I'll see you in my next video. And one more last thing before I go. This is for my husband. Thank you, honey. This is a special shirt. He had this made for me. It says Nonnie Hikes. And this is a picture of me in Yellowstone at one of the waterfalls there. And he had Nonnie Hikes 2023 put on the sleeve. Honey, you're the cat's meow. I love you.